There is a specific kind of regret in real estate that no spreadsheet captures. It is the regret of moving your family to a place that looked perfect online and discovering the truth only after the moving truck has left. In Washington state, 10 places are generating that exact regret right now in 2026. Locals know which ones, police know which ones. Real estate agents quietly avoid recommending them, but newcomers do not know until it is too late. Today I am walking you through the 10 places in Washington you should never move to in 2026, ranked from number 10 down to the one place that genuinely should not be on anyone's relocation list. Stick around for number 3, because what is happening there is genuinely disturbing. Let's get into it. Starting at number 10, Tukwila, Washington. Tukwila wraps around SeaTac Airport and contains the largest mall in Washington. On paper, the location is convenient. In practice, it is the city with the highest property crime rate in the entire state, 18,003 incidents per 100,000 residents. If you live in Tukwila statistically, your car has a meaningful chance of being stolen in any given year. Not in your lifetime, in any given year. Over 4,200 vehicles are stolen here annually in a city of just 20,000 people. The International Boulevard corridor, the older airport motels, and the parking structures around Westfield South Center after dark are zones even local police describe as overwhelmed. For a newcomer drawn to the convenience of airport access, the reality lands fast. That is number 10. Number 9, Toppenish, Washington. Toppenish is a small Yakima Valley town of fewer than 9,000 people. Beautiful murals, vibrant culture, hardworking community. But the data on crime is brutal. Residents here face a 1 in 14 chance of being a crime victim in any given year. The problem is structural. Toppenish sits inside the Yakima Indian Reservation, creating overlapping jurisdictions between local police, county sheriffs, tribal police, and federal authorities. Criminals exploit the gaps. Reports filed with one agency do not always reach others. Local business owners keep cash drops under $50 because anything more attracts armed robberies. If you are relocating with a family looking for small-town quiet, this is not the small town. That is number 9. Number 8, Aberdeen, Washington. Aberdeen sits on the Pacific coast where the Chehalis River meets Grays Harbor. 16,000 people. Once a thriving logging and fishing town. Today, Aberdeen is more dangerous than 94% of all cities in the United States. 6 murders per capita in a city this size is not a statistic, it is a verdict. The downtown is full of beautiful boarded-up brick buildings. Unemployment runs double the state average. The opioid crisis hit Aberdeen earlier and harder than almost anywhere in the Pacific Northwest. And you can see the consequences on every block. The local advice for travelers is consistent. If your gas light comes on between Olympia and the coast, fill up in Olympia. Do not stop in Aberdeen. That is number 8. Number 7, Shelton, Washington. Shelton in Mason County is a small town that most outsiders have never heard of, and yet it shows up on every Washington crime ranking. Property crime here runs significantly above state averages. The Olympic Highway corridor through Shelton has been the site of repeated drug-related arrests, and the kind of incidents local news has stopped covering individually. The pattern is the same one we see across struggling small Washington towns. Limited police staffing, transient population, opioid pressure, and infrastructure decay. For a newcomer expecting quiet Pacific Northwest small town, Shelton delivers a very different experience. That is number 7. Number 6, Fife, Washington. Fife is a city of just over 10,000 people built almost entirely around Interstate 5 freight infrastructure. Truck stops, freight yards, distribution warehouses, budget motels. The violent crime rate here is 212% higher than the state average. Newcomers do not move to Fife to live in Fife. They end up here because it is cheap. Then they discover why it is cheap. Cargo theft, drug activity at the older motels, and assaults along Pacific Highway East are constant. Fife police are working hard, but the city has fewer than 30 sworn officers covering a crime volume that requires 3 times that. That is number 6. Number 5, Lakewood, Washington. Lakewood sits just south of Tacoma, tucked between Joint Base Lewis McChord and the city itself. The violent crime rate here is 99% higher than the Washington average, basically double. The Tillicum neighborhood specifically is the zone locals warn outsiders about. Multiple drive-by shootings in a single year. Property crime running through the roof. Lakewood police have publicly acknowledged that repeat offenders are cycling through the system and returning to the same blocks within weeks. If you are relocating for the affordable home prices in Lakewood, understand the trade-off. That is number 5. Number 4, Federal Way, Washington. Federal Way used to be the affordable suburb between Seattle and Tacoma. 20 years ago, families moved here for quiet, working-class neighborhoods. Today, the Pacific Highway South Corridor has become a freeway crime hotspot, with regular incidents involving stolen vehicles, drug activity, and assaults near rideshare pickup points. Locals describe Federal Way as a freeway city now, meaning crimes happen, criminals jump on I-5, and they are gone before officers arrive. For a newcomer family expecting the affordable middle ground suburb they read about online, Federal Way in 2026 is a different city. That is number 4. Number 3, Tacoma, Washington. Tacoma has been the violent crime capital of Washington for years running. 223,000 residents, over 24,000 total crimes per year. The Port of Tacoma is one of the largest container ports on the West Coast, and federal investigations have identified it as a key entry point for fentanyl moving through the Pacific Northwest. The hilltop, parts of South Tacoma, and the east side near McKinley Avenue have generational gang activity that flares unpredictably. A particular stretch of Pacific Avenue South has been the site of multiple homicides in just the last 2 years. For a newcomer, the safe parts of Tacoma are real and lovely. But picking the wrong neighborhood here is not just inconvenient, it is dangerous. That is number 3. Number 2, downtown Seattle, Washington. The Skyline is iconic. The reality of living in the downtown core in 2026 is a different story. Capitol Hill after midnight, Belltown after the bars close, Pioneer Square on a weekday afternoon. 3rd Avenue downtown, once a normal commuter street, is now described by residents as the worst block in the city. Seattle's homelessness population has reached 16,000 documented individuals. Property crime now affects roughly 1 in 22 Seattle residents per year. Aurora Avenue North, Rainier Valley below Mount Baker, and parts of Lake City are zones longtime Seattleites avoid after dark. The downtown high-rise condo you saw online may be beautiful. The walk to it after sunset is a different experience. That is number 2. Number 1, Hoquiam, Washington. Hoquiam sits right next to Aberdeen on the Pacific Coast, and it is the place locals quietly call the worst place to relocate to in Washington in 2026. Tiny population, around 8,000. Median home prices among the lowest in the state, which is exactly what attracts unsuspecting newcomers. Then they arrive. Boarded storefronts, visible drug activity, crime rates that punch far above the city's small size. The opioid crisis hit Hoquiam alongside Aberdeen, and recovery has been slow to non-existent. Police staffing is minimal, economic opportunity is scarce. The cheap home you found online comes with a community that has been struggling for 2 generations and shows no signs of turning. For someone moving from out of state, expecting affordable coastal Washington, Hoquiam delivers a kind of culture shock that some families never recover from. That is number 1, so there is the list. 10 places in Washington you should never move to in 2026, based on FBI Uniform Crime Report data, Washington State Patrol statistics, and current local reporting. A quick honest note, every single one of these cities has wonderful people, good neighborhoods, and families working hard to make things better. The data captures averages, not your block. But if you are relocating from out of state, you owe it to your family to do the research before signing a lease. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button. Coming up next, the 10 best Washington retirement towns nobody talks about. The kind of places that quietly let your dollar stretch and your stress drop. You will want to see that one.